Hello, my name is Dave Strain. I'm president of APS. It's a systems development company focusing on improving the performance of HVAC systems in buildings. We also have an internationally patented device which will also assist greatly with the battle against climate change. This particular video focuses on an advancement in HVAC with respect to cooling for buildings. This next slide will show you the advantages and the explanation for this. This drawing illustrates an untested control strategy that has the potential to reduce mechanical cooling energy consumption while maintaining virtually identical occupied space temperatures. Scenarios A and B represent a conventional enthalpy-based control sequence. In this approach, the total heat content, enthalpy, of the outdoor air and the return air is continuously compared to determine which air source will require the lesser amount of mechanical cooling. And scenarios A and C illustrate a modified approach while mechanical cooling is operating. The control system continues to compare the enthalpy of the outdoor air and return air, selecting the air source with a lower heat content. However, when mechanical cooling is not operating, the comparison changes from enthalpy to dry bulb temperature and the cooler air source is selected. The total mechanical cooling runtime, as in scenario A, is the same in both scenarios B and C. However, the cooling off period is longer in the scenario C, reducing the overall percentage of time that the mechanical cooling must operate. To implement this strategy, the cooling equipment would need to operate at 100% on-off control rather than modulating. This requirement may not be suitable for all systems due to space temperature control requirements or equipment limitations. Example, in scenario A, the outdoor air enthalpy is lower than the return air enthalpy, so the control selects 100% outdoor air. Mechanical cooling operates for 3 minutes to reduce the space temperature. Once the space temperature falls to the desired level, mechanical cooling shuts off and the system transitions to scenario B. Under conventional enthalpy-based control, the system continues to introduce 100% outside air because this enthalpy remains lower than the return air, even though the outdoor air temperature is actually higher than the return air temperature. As a result, the space warms more quickly and the mechanical cooling rest period is limited to approximately 5 minutes. Scenario C demonstrates an alternative approach intended to extend the cooling off period. When mechanical cooling shuts down, the control system compares the outdoor air with the return air temperature and selects the cooler air source rather than relying on enthalpy. In this example, the cooler return air is used, extending the cooling rest period from 5 minutes to approximately 7 minutes. By increasing the cooling off period while maintaining the same occupied space temperature, this strategy reduces the overall percentage of runtime of the mechanical cooling equipment, potentially improving energy efficiency with little or no noticeable impact on occupant comfort. The children are currently worried a lot about climate change. The BBC provided a survey stating that over 50% of the kids are worried about climate change on a regular basis, and 40% of them say they're not going to have children and get married because of the state of the planet. Another serious issue is that Stanford University put out a report stating that we're going to run out of fossil fuels within the lifetime of children currently living. These are two very serious problems. If you wish to look at these surveys on these, you can go to our website at apscontrols.org, and there's an article, Fighting Climate Worry, and there are links to those two reports in it. We have to address these serious problems for the sake of the children's future. We're not looking for money from you, but we are looking for your political support. Could you please consider sending an email or making a phone call to the authorities who are in charge of climate change issues as well as environment, and request that they take a serious look at all solutions that will assist in the battle against climate change for the sake of the children's future. Thank you very much for watching this video.